Welcome to highlights of HRZN Racing League Season 5, Round 1. I'm Chris, otherwise known as Screamlight, be taking you through all the action from Bahrain. HRZN Racing League, what are we? Who are we? We're an F1 Racing League, not esports, but still quick. Currently hosted in F1 24, and I'm sure F1 25 later on in the year. Let's look at our calendar. Bahrain today, Qatar, Imola, China, Britain, Miami, Saudi Arabia, Austria, Portugal and Abu Dhabi, with a random rain to be decided at round 7. Events in yellow are wildcards, events in green are sprint, and Abu Dhabi double points at the end of the year. Those wildcards could throw out some big surprises. Stay tuned for those later in the season. The grid, full 20 driver grid this year of full timers with 2 extras who can drop in and out as they please. Drivers in red are your split 1 drivers, drivers in blue are your split 2. Bit of promotion and relegation involved. I'm your mate in the Ferrari there, current reigning champion. Alpine, current Constructors champion as well. Looking at Bahrain then, shall we take a little look at the track before we get to the race? First race held in 2004, this 5.412 kilometre track has 15 turns, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, 3 DRS zones. Plenty of opportunities for overtaking into Turn 1, renamed after Michael Schumacher in 2014, and Turn 4. This is a circuit that hosts a lot of other things as well, F2, F3, World Endurance as well, and WHM, Baza and the Scottish are our Season 1 and Season 3 winners from here. But here we are, heading down to turn number 1, as I say, renamed after Michael Schumacher. Don't clip the curb on the inside, it'll unsettle the car, but go across that curb in at turn 2. Drift out to the left out of 3 and get that DRS open for turn 4. Try once again to avoid the curb on the inside, but don't go too far wide, else you may feel the wrath of track penalties. Sweeper in the middle, more of a single file, but you can have some action and overtaking here as well, before heavy braking into turn 8. Again, try not to clip the curb too much on the inside and drift out to the right on exit, so you can head towards turn number 9. Get the braking right here so you can be slow enough for turn 10 before another DRS zone. Less opportunity to overtake at the end of this straight, but there is still an opportunity before we head into these sweepers of 11, 12 and then into that tighter 13 at the tail end. Again, position your car well enough, keep enough space, don't clip that inside curb at 12, that will throw you off, before heavy braking into 13. And then it's a quick blast down the back straight. Here you could, if you've got a little bit of recharge, get past anybody around you, before heavy braking into 14, 15, this double apex right-hander, and then you go back across the line to start another lap. That's Bahrain, a circuit I think we all know fairly well from the opening of most Formula 1 seasons of late. But let's take a look at the grid. I'm your mate took pole from Sandro Wagner, Tommy Ash, Vampire, Senna DRS, Baza, Sign, Scornful Griffin, Mr. Pickles, Jimmy Alex, your top 10. Perpetual, Andy, It's Rover, Steadfast, DJ, Devasaurus, Bunny's Vengeance, Real Max World and the Scottish joining at the back, driving into McLaren, but will be scoring points for Williams. Let's get to the action then, shall we? Enjoy. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go in Bahrain. No penalties popping up immediately, so we're not going to be seeing any issues with jump starts. We'll stay with Sandro, who's taken the lead from the Scottish early into the mid-pack. Doesn't look like there's too much in the way of hassle. Scottish already up to 15th. There are bits of car around, but just look over there. It looks like Davasaurus has made some positions. Jimmy and Sign looks to have an incident, and we're on board with the Scottish as the Alpines come together. On board with I'm Your Mate for the start. Gets the reaction time right, but gets bogged down a little in the second phase, and they'll just spot Sandro Wagner on the outside there, just getting in front. I'm Your Mate does trying to brake late and hang it around the outside, but gets the braking point wrong. A little bit of bumping and barging, and a quick drift there, just on the off. Further back for Tommy. Great start from him, really solid getaway. But you'll see as we're coming down to turn 1, you can see I'm Your Mate there going wide. He's getting caught between the two of them. Just a little tap between them all.
No space.
And through they go. Further back again with Baza. This is the incident you're about to see with the cars going off on the outside of turn 1. But as you can see, Scornful Griffin with an absolutely mega start goes flying by in the Aston. All gets a little bit tight into turn 1 and getting caught in between Simon Jimmy sends Simon Jimmy off. He survives. And let's look on board from Jimmy now as well. Jimmy Alex 206 in the RB. Another great getaway, really solid work. Gets a good spot at the inside there, clips the curb, unsettles him a little, but by that point he is then just a passenger with everybody around him. And finally on board with Mr. Pickle, who's again a little bit further back here. You can see Scorn gets away wonderfully, absolutely on the trigger for the lights going out. But it all just gets a little bit tight up here. There's bumping and barging in and around with Steadfast. And then you watch those three go heading off into the distance. Where to look this early? Baza there, down to 10th. A little bit of contact with Andy. Fighting with the Scottish, who's already up to P11. I knew we should have started at the back. He's now behind Tommy. Let's ride on board, see if he's going to try and make the move. Little tap, just trying to get his braking spot correct. Fight going on up ahead. Scorn in the Aston, really going for it. Let's get on board here with Vampire. Stay with Scorn here, and then look into turn 4, avoiding the contact. Seems to be as you were. The McLaren's in the middle of the pack, Scottish and Perpetual, you could just see them in the background, dicing with each other. I'm Your Mate goes up the inside, a little bit of contact. We're going to stay on the ringer camera because Tommy's there as well. 3 into 1 definitely doesn't go into turn 10. I'm Your Mate comes out ahead. A little bit of bumping and barging, but nothing too untoward here, I don't think. As we'll get back on board with Vampire. He should make that move, but Tommy's going to hold it around the outside. That's some real great racing there. Giving each other great space, great respect. Senna sat in behind as well. Let's go on board with I'm Your Mate heading into this little incident with Tommy and Vampire. You can see, sees the opportunity and goes for it. Clips Vampire. They all survive. There's a little bit more bumping and banging. No further action from the stewards on that particular incident. 18th, quite a distance off the back of the field. I feel they've had to... let's just check. Yeah, they've both had to make stops. I think they've had issues. Let's take a look at what happened to the Alpines there. Bunny's Vengeance, nowhere to go as its Rover comes round. Senna, Vampire, Pickle, Scornful Griffin, a 1:31.9. Fastest of them as we go 3 wide into turn 1. And we get back on board with Mr. Pickle. There's a bit of bumping and banging between him and Vampire. Senna's got past them both. Avoids the inside curb. He's got to keep that careful. Nice bit of space there, but again, you can't really go too wide into here. Pickle has to back out of it. Let's watch on board from the Scottish, because he's going to be watching the pair of them and looking to make a move down into turn 8. Not quite got it. But already up to P8 from last on the grid. Bunny pulling in again for a second stop. Double DRS here for Scottish. And he'll get out the inside of Pickle, but I don't think he's going to make it particularly easy for him. Has he cleared him in time? He has cleared him in time to swing back across into turn 12. Let's ride on board with I'm Your Mate. Tommy has DRS. He should go by fairly quickly. There he goes. Easy pass with DRS. Let's ride on board with Real Max World. You can see he goes past Steadfast here. Gets his braking just right, but then loses the rear end. Really has to correct himself, and Steadfast slips back through. He's in the wall. Bazza is in the wall and is retiring from the session. That's what happened to Bazza then. He's coming through the midfield section. Feels like he's got a bit of a run on Perpetual here, who gets it just a little wide out of turn 8. Comes up alongside, cannot quite find the way past. But then outbrakes himself a touch, pushes Perpetual, and then pulls it off the road, retires the car. There goes I'm Your Mate. Big drift and lock up into turn 1 there. We'll go wide. Tommy Ash will get back in front. I feel like that battle's going to go on for a little while. Pickle still fighting away here. Stay on board with Vampire on the soft tyre. Can he do it? Good amount of respect and space. Little clip. Oh, there goes Vampire and into the wall. That's going to require probably a change of front wing there. That's a crying shame. Vampire was looking good really there. Jump on board with Mr. Pickle for the incident with Vampire. You can see that these two dueling all the way up through turn 4. Pickle gets up the inside, clips the curb ever so slightly, but doesn't unsettle him too much. They're then side by side as we go into the midfield. No movement, no deliberate action there, no further action from the stewards for the incident either. Storm here. He doesn't have DRS, 2 guys behind him do. Scottish is up into P5, that's a move we've missed. Max goes past Pickle and I'm Your Mate flying into turn 1, gets it all off. Getting damage on the rear. Let's see what happened with I'm Your Mate here, heading into turn 1. He gets a little wide out of the final couple of corners, but he gets the DRS. Really begins pulling him along, but he's still quite a distance back. He just gets his braking a little wrong, tries to turn in, clips the front wing. That's going to require replacing at pit stop. Entire race. As I said, quick but inconsistent at times last season, Tommy. I think this might be his shot here. I'm Your Mate having to come in, will need a replacement front wing, but easy overtake with the DRS down into turn 1. I'm Your Mate slipping backwards. Let's take the rear view just for a moment. But further back because Max is going for it. Pickle was going for it, sorry, he's through. Max went defensive. And Max both into the pits at the same time. Max in the pits, he'll go. Where's Pickle? Will he get out in front? It's going to be a bit of a battle with the pit stop crews, but the Haas does make it out in front. Didn't see this incident coming out of the pits on the broadcast, but Max following Pickle out here. You can just see there the Haas gets out just in front.
It's a bit of a different strategy between the two of us.
There's alternate tyre strategies as well. Max though sees I'm Your Mate go by and then,
oh my god,
couldn't have said it better myself, nearly runs into the back.
I did. No, I didn't see. I didn't
save it with
you
the drift
so much.
I'm Your Mate. With Mr. Pickles, Davisaurus picked up the 3-second time pen as well. Let's hop on board with Mr. Pickle here, chasing down I'm Your Mate in the Ferrari as you just saw the pass. Fairly straightforward with DRS. And that one will rage on for a bit longer. Let's take a little look at an incident between Pickle and Perpetual. I don't think we caught on the broadcast there. Both just heading out the pits. Jimmy with DRS down into turn 4. He's closing and closing. Perpetual, though, not choosing to go defensive. Gets the braking all wrong. But there's no further action as Jimmy backs off and cedes the position back to Perpetual. We've got a three-way fight at the front between Tommy, Scottish and Scorn. They've caught together. That's unfortunate. We joined it on board just at the wrong time. That's going to be one to look at in the steward's room after, I think. Let's take a look at that incident again on board with Scornful Griffin in the Aston Martin. The Scottish, you'll just see, just coming up the inside. Looked like he might even get 2 for 1, but Tommy defends that one well. And then it's just unfortunate. It looks like it's a little bit of a case of EA physics. They both collide and connect. No further action from the stewards. Not really an awful lot either driver could do in that scenario. Let's take a look at another incident around the same sort of time as the Scorn Scottish incident. Jimmy with Perpetual, the second part of this little dice between the pair. Jimmy with DRS down into turn 1. It's a really great drive, but he does pull across just a little early.
Caution!
And you'll hear the yellow flags be thrown. We'll take a look at that from on board with Perpetual in just a little moment as well. As you can see, on board with Perpetual, we'll go a little bit further back, running well into the final couple of corners. Does know that Jimmy is there and knows he's going to be well within DRS range, checking that rear cam quite considerably. But this contact was deemed avoidable, causing a collision. It's a 5-second penalty for Jimmy. No damage for Perpetual, but did cost him the position on the road. All of a sudden could be on for a podium. He'll go up the inside at 11, they'll go side by side into 12 and into 13. This is some close racing, real great respect between the two of them. And I'm Your Mate will slot back in. We've got 2 Hasses, both under attack, one from an RB, one from a Ferrari. But I feel that Andy is probably going to be heading into the pits soon, as you can see up ahead. Tommy making the move to move back into P2. He has lost a little bit of time to Sandro in the pits, but maybe only around a second as I'm Your Mate goes up the inside heading into turn 1 on Pickle. Gets that move done. With I'm Your Mate before checking those position changes as he moves back into the podium positions. Andy's going to try and fight that though. Hasn't yet stopped. Scrap here. Through goes Scorn. We'll ride on board and check the rear view. Oh, Max trying to hold it around the outside there. Tough to do, but can happen. He'll have the DRS running down into turn 4, but it's going to be some kind of dive if he goes for it. I didn't think he would. Sign right behind him there. And Max as Jimmy now gets a 3-second time penalty. Looks like Senna has dropped off this. I think it might have been Senna who had the issue. Max into turn 1. Is Syme going to try and follow through? No, he's not. Well, let's stay off board, but in the middle with Scorn. Scorn's going to have DRS, as is Syme. But Max keeping the car really nicely positioned. Just left of centre of track. A little bit more of this race to go as we once again watch Scorn go for the move. Syme this time might be close enough. We're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Syme trying for the double overtake. Thinks better of it, pulls out of it. Let's ride on board because I think we're going to see both the Red Bull and the Sauber go for a move here. Syme will go as Senna gets a time penalty. Syme will go through. Will run wide though. Let's watch side on go. No, Scorn knowing it's really a bit of a single file line through those two sweepers, pulling off the throttle. That's going to leave him quite vulnerable now, though, to Max behind, because he's almost nearly out of DRS range already. Vampire and Rover swapping positions a bit further back of it. Pickle on the back of Perpetual, but the battles are a little bit fewer and further between. Scorn just about keeping within DRS, which I think helped him out there. Up to the barrier, Syme following him, Senna following him in the background as well, hoping to get just a little bit of a tow. The Rover gets another 3-second time penalty. Syme lost the position, backed out a bit into 2. He will have the DRS now. Now let's go back on board with Scorn. Syme, I'd say sensibly backing out of the move now. I don't think it was on. Or again. Is Syme going to be close enough? Is he going to get alongside? Yes, he is. He's going to go for it. Vampire now gets a further time penalty, but they're going side by side. Syme eventually pulls through. But again, whether he breaks away enough is going to be the real question. We catch the end of that one coming through turns 1 and 2. Who has the DRS? It's Jimmy. He's going to go for it here. At the inside at turn 4. Oh, he's overshot though. Let's ride on board. Yes, he holds the position there. I think he's defended well. And Steadfast. Pickle there now as well. Doesn't have DRS, but will coming into turn 4. Jimmy getting just a little wide. Steadfast and Pickle also no time penalties. This could be of great benefit. They're going to go side by side into turn 4 while chasing. Go to Mr. Pickle, who's just got past Steadfast. Jump aboard with Jimmy Alex 206 here, chasing Steadfast down into turn 1 with DRS. Doesn't make the same mistake as he did earlier in the race with Perpetual. Gets himself past. Nice and clean. Gets it a little wrong into turn 1, but manages to hold the position confidently. Let's follow Mr. Pickle here. You'll see just ahead Jimmy goes past Steadfast. And Pickle, going to use this to his advantage, tries to go around the outside. But with both cars actually running wide, he does the little switch back through 2, has the DRS to play with, all the way up to turn 4. And is passed before we even get to the corner. Steadfast does have a little look down the inside, but nothing doing there. As well, that the battles are starting to come back into this race. Perpetual really, I was going to say positioning the car well. Let's get on board. No contact. Really great racing there between those guys. Both very respectful. Really had some great on tracks with both of these guys. Perpetual though does look to be struggling. Both of them getting a little bit wiggly under traction, but Andy should have this one sewn up. Does he? Yes, he does. Doesn't overcook it on exit either, but certainly gonna have Perpetual on his tail. The only person in this little group here without a time penalty is going to go for the move into turn 1. He gets it done nice and easily. But now he'll lead them up to turn 4. He'll be the one in front of the queue. Everybody clipping the inside apex. Changing positions into turn 1. Back on board with Jimmy Alex 206. Very wide out the final couple of corners, and it's another attempt for Steadfast to get by. This time he does. As you can see, it does look like he's pulling away at this stage, but Jimmy will throw it back at the inside. Clips the inside curb, unsettles the car, but manages to keep the position and go on about the rest of his race. There you go, there's Iron Man in amongst it already. Trying to stay with Syme, let's stay on the inside here. Trying to avoid contact with Max in front of him. Is he going to do 2 in these corners? Be something if he could. Tries to take the wider line. Cuts slightly. Avoiding contact again. This is some quality racing from on your mate. Defending champion, really needing to get himself back further forward. He's got time penalties and hasn't had the best race. Gets it all crossed up into the final corner, but again avoids the contact. There's yellows in sector 1. Something somewhere has gone on. Oh, it's a double dive. And I'm drifting into turn 1. Somehow, I don't think there was any contact with anybody. It was one hell of a move. The yellows have gone. I don't know what that was all about. Again, that car is so twitchy. Oh, mate, wrestling this Ferrari around at the moment. Oh, yeah, that was a clumsy move. Makes contact with Max, but they all still stay together. I know he's backed off. That's fair racing. Number 2 for these guys now. DJ getting out of the way really well. Just sticking to the inside wall. Well, this could end badly once again, but Senna moves to the front of the queue here. I'm your mate. Back past Max. Senna now the one under pressure. Scorn moves back into 3rd. At the moment, still the only one with no time penalties, which is really going to count in his favour at the end, I think. One incident, one mistake could quite easily cost Scorn the box seat that he's in at the moment. Because no time penalties, no problem. Senna moves into P3. Again, it might not be for very long. I'm your mate there. Getting a little squirrely. Max as well locking up. This is all going off all at once. We're going to go 4 wide into turn 4. This can only end badly. Into 2 banks of 2. Max backs off. Scorn and Senna come together. A little half spin from Senna. Watch that incident with Scorn and Senna from the POV of Real Max World. Into turn 1, as you can see. All 4 of them scrapping very closely, getting close to the end of the race here.
Yeah, I'll lodge you.
Bit of contact between I'm your mate and Scorn heading up towards turn 4.
When it slips mid-race.
All side by side, all close together, but Senna turns in, just clips the side pod. No further action, nothing doing there. All the way down the start-finish straight. Scorn is going to go back past I'm your mate. He's not going to get away that easily. Max goes for a bit of a dive and he goes sideways, but somehow once again, no major contact. I'm your mate moves back to the front of this queue and has DRS. Can he break away far enough? I don't think he will. This little clutch of 4 still fighting away all the way to the end of this race. Sandro Wagner, just quickly as he moves into the final corner, he'll take the victory by a comfortable 6.5 seconds from Tommy Ash, who's coming around the final corner now. Really solid drive from Tommy, actually. You know, after the inconsistencies and the issues he had last season, to come through, really well done as Max and Senna getting up close and personal in the final corner. I'm your mate comes across the line 3rd on the road, but will drop down to 5th with penalties. Scorn will take 3rd, Max 4th. What a way to kick off the season. Sandro Wagner takes the victory from Tommy Ash in 2nd. Scornful Griffin finishes 3rd and gets driver of the day for that defensive masterclass at the end. Bunny's Vengeance gets fastest lap but is out of the points, so nothing for that. As it's points for the top 12 in the championship is the top 12 in the race. Perpetual there in 12th, the one with the last remaining point. Don't expect those guys on 0 to remain on that number for much longer though. In split number 1, we have Tommy Ash at the top, Scornful Griffin 2nd, and I'm your mate is 3rd. Six Pompano and WHM Baza down at the bottom, looking at demotion after rank 1. Split number 2, Sandro Wagner takes the lead there with Real Max World in 2nd, looking at promotion. Senna 17 DRS is in 3rd in the Kick Sauber. As for the constructors, Mercedes lead the way with RB in 2nd, Aston Martin 3rd, Alpine no score after rank 1. Those were the highlights from Bahrain. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I certainly did. You can watch the live broadcasts, twitch.tv/screenlight. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And Qatar will be coming up for you very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you soon.